Hey everybody, Glenn Lamont here from Wallace Hartley Presents. Happy long weekend. Or as my daughter says, happy evil Queen Victoria long weekend. That is straight from the horse's mouth. I was dropping her off at school the other day, yesterday, and she was asking me about this weekend and wanted to know who Queen Victoria was and all that other stuff. And so we had like a little conversation about the history of colonialism and settler colonialism. And luckily, in our school district anyways here in Vancouver, they teach that stuff, and that's a welcome. It's refreshing. It was something that was never taught when I was growing up in school, and it's good they have an awareness and that they're learning. But anyways, yeah, she wanted to know who Queen Victoria was, and we had this quick discussion, and we talked about at that time when Queen Victoria was reigning, how in First Nations and Aboriginal people here in Canada were being treated, and she just looked at me like very matter-of-factly and said they should change the name to Evil Queen Victoria Day, and got out of the car and went to school. And I went, oh my God, she's going to be awesome. She is awesome. But, kids, they just, they don't pull any punches, right? Anyways, 2,744,068 people have been vaccinated here in British Columbia. That's not, fully vaccinated, but that's how many vaccinations have been given. And that's good news, especially on this long weekend, because people are going to be out and about. They're going to be ignoring the rules, and then a few weeks from now we're going to have a ton of cases, and that's just sucks. And it sucks for everyone, but it sucks for us here on the front lines, because we're also still in the middle of an opioid crisis, and so we kind of we get hit like double. So yeah, please do your part, get vaccinated, and this weekend stay home. I know they have checkpoints, at like the ferries and the highways, but let's face it, nobody's going to be honest and go, well, going up the lake to drink beer. That's not going to happen, right? So anyways, it's just funny. I was watching a video, and the reason I bring this up is because the anti-maskers and the anti-vaxxers, and it's crazy that that's even a thing with all the information and science available to the public, but it is. But I was watching a video on Amanpour and Company. I don't know if you've seen that program, but they were talking, going back to, our perception of who the people who were involved in these sort of things, and in particular, who were the people at the Capitol riot in Washington, D.C., and this guy, Professor Robert A. Pape from the University of Chicago, and he is part of the Chicago Project on Security and Threats. And so what they discovered about all those people who were there at the Capitol riot, I think the media paints pictures of like, everybody's, a white supremacist, or they belong to the Proud Boys, or the Oath Keepers, or the Three Percenters. And yes, those people were there, but the majority, this study found that the majority of folks were, 93% white, big surprise, 86% male. No surprise there, but the surprise came in the fact that these were not the poor, the unemployed, the undereducated, the kind of stereotypical image we have, I guess, of Trump supporters. These people were white collar. These people were managers and CEOs and business owners and doctors and lawyers, and crazy, right? And the reason being, what they discovered in this study was that the driving force behind it all was the fear of the great replacement, that white people were going to be replaced because, people of color, black, indigenous people of color are getting all these rights, and pretty soon we're going to be a minority, and holy crap, we won't be able to walk down the street with it, and just crazy. So it didn't come as any surprise to me, but it does tell us how the media sure loves to paint a picture. I think they want us to keep thinking that it's not the guy next door. It's not our neighbor. It's not somebody, we've had beers with after softball. They don't want us thinking that, because that's a little too close to home. So let's keep it in the realm of, white supremacists and KKK and these kind of things. And that's not the reality of it, right? The reality is that, white people who are afraid that they're going to become the minority, and they're not going to have the privilege, and it's all about fear. It's all fear-based stuff. And then you got guys like Joe Rogan jumping in, who I think his last thing before this was, if you're young and you're healthy, you shouldn't get vaccinated. And people were all over him for that, including Dr. Fauci. And then he backpedaled on it, right? And then his latest one is having a conversation about cancel culture, and Joe Rogan said that pretty soon straight white males like us are not going to be, we're going to be silenced. We're not going to be able to do anything. Our rights are going to be taken away, which is hilarious. I think Joe has really learned a lot from his good pal, Alex Jones. I don't know if Joe believes everything he says, but he sure knows how to keep his listeners and keep his base and keep gaining more, right? By saying inflammatory things. And but it was great because Don Lemon, who commented on this, I think he had the best one. He basically said that, acknowledging the oppression, discrimination, or differences of others does not silence you, Joe Rogan, with millions of viewers and $100 million contract from Spotify with a microphone. Every day you can say whatever you want. And my favorite tweet was my favorite tweet that I saw was, Joe Rogan is goop for men. Classic. Anyways, so when people are living in fear, there is no moving forward, right? And one thing I am learning to do is not be so angry, and yelling to try and get my point across to these people. Now I try and educate. And I think that's the only way we can do it. I am horrified when I hear people who I know are actually pretty smart. And when all of a sudden we get onto the subject of, anything like this, like, anti-mask, anti-vax, Aboriginal rights, Black Lives Matter, and then all this shit comes out of their mouth, and I'm like, holy crap. But you know what? It's, the way forward, I guess, is not to, like I said, be argumentative. I think the way forward is, there's a lot of people I know who do this way better than I do without getting angry, but present the information and have a conversation, have a discussion, and not, put those barriers and walls up. We all need to get through this together. And every time that a BIPOC person, makes gains, it doesn't take anything away from anyone. And if we support this, it's better for everyone. But the bottom line is, still here on the front lines doing our thing, and we want to get through this together safely and get back to normal, whatever that's going to look like. I hope you all enjoy yourselves and have an awesome evil Queen Victoria long weekend day. Thanks, folks. Take care. Stay safe.